Welcome to Striking Options, the show that reveals the options you have to better navigate markets. I'm Jeff Kilburn, and I'm joined today for the last show of the year, actually the last show of the decade, by Scott Bauer. Welcome, Scott.
Jeff, how are you?
I'm doing great. Well, despite the ups and the downs, the S&P 500 was up nearly 250% in this last decade. What does your crystal ball say for the next decade?
Wow, I mean that's a big number. That's a big question. Things look pretty positive to start off the decade here. Rates are accommodative, and the market seems to be in a pretty decent place.
And that's been the sentiment as we kind of close out the year. Here we are on New Year's Eve, getting ready for New Year's Day tomorrow. But it's interesting to see some of the sentiment going in. A lot of the positivity is due to the Chinese trade tariff situation. And we have a lot of momentum in the market because of that, Scott.
No doubt about that. I mean, the market's been waiting a long time for some positivity. We're getting it. We'll see if it continues throughout the first quarter and the rest of the year.
All right, pal, let's get this first lightning round. You ready?
Absolutely.
Gold pops. Well, we talked about gold is at actually the high end of the range for 2019. Where does gold go from here, Scott?
Jeff, like you just said, it has been in this range pretty much the last 12 months or so. It's up at that top there. So I'm going to take advantage of that, and I'm looking to sell the week 2 1550, 1575 call spread in gold. And the selling of this call spread allows an investor to collect $236.
Well, this call spread was expired January 10th of 2020. And it's interesting, the February futures were at about 1526, but the at-the-money volatility, we talk a lot about that, and that actually prices the implied volatility in these premiums that we're looking at these option examples. Where was that at-the-money volatility?
10.39, which is up from where it's been recently, which gives a little bit more premium to this spread.
So in layman's terms, if you're expecting this range to be true again in 2020, 1550 is kind of that ceiling, correct?
Absolutely, and that's why we're looking at that as the sale of that particular strike.
We like to collect premium in 2019. We're going to like to collect even more in 2020. Great stuff. And remember, these are trade examples, not trade recommendations. Let's move to the second lightning round, pal. Best sectors of the decade. Wow, Scott, what are your thoughts? Where do you see the best two sectors? Talk to me.
Well, we focus a lot on technology, and it's been absolutely incredible to see that performance this decade. And, a name like Broadcom, which is up about 2,000% this decade, NVIDIA up over 1,000%, and, of course, who could not forget about Apple?
Yeah, it's interesting. Consumer cyclicals and technology have been the two best sectors for that decade. We used name some high flyers, but it's interesting to see, will technology stay hot this decade? It seems like the momentum is there, but technology by and large is really beating the other indices. If you look at the NASDAQ 100 up over 35%, while you're seeing the Dow Jones up about 22%, and you're also seeing the S&P 500 about 28.5%.
Well, technology advances so quickly, and it's just becoming, more real time, and I don't see that changing anytime soon.
Well, I know we're talking decades here, but let's bring this back in here. I'm looking for my trade example to sell a week 2 9,092.50 call spread in the E-mini NASDAQ 100. This is going to expire January 10th, the same as yours, but it's interesting. All this is looking for, because 9,000 is about 3% higher from here, we're just looking for a little bit of repositioning in the first week or two of the new year.
Absolutely, and that 9,000 number is really a psychological number that investors look for. So on this setup here, the March futures are underlying at 87.1275, and this credit spread allows an investor to collect about $80.
Yeah, and at the money volatility just under 15%. So this trade example, it's not the double or triple we were utilizing in your gold example, but this is a single. We like to hit singles, and it worked quite well in 2019 hitting those singles, Scott.
Absolutely. And I think, like you mentioned, break even on this is around that magic 9,000 number.
That's right. Well, hey, Scott, thanks as always for tuning in and being on Striking Options. We'd like to wish everyone a happy and a healthy new year. And please tune in next year as we will continue to strike options.